Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our Speaking Coletrain Productions for this month. This will be a once a month thing. And I want to thank everybody that is new to the channel. I know we have a lot of new folks that joined us today and over the last few days. And I want to thank everybody for coming on in and welcome to Coletrain and welcome to the phenomenal crew. And appreciate you guys for subscribing. But this is everything you need to know going into WrestleMania. We're gonna cover everything universe mode wise to get you guys catched up. If you haven't watched the Royal Rumble yet, it was an 8-hour extravaganza that a lot of people sat down and watched, which I thank them so much for. If you haven't watched the Rumble, please go check it out. It was a pretty amazing show, and I recommend you guys go check it out if you have the time. You're not doing anything, I don't think. Half people are at home, so I mean, hey, just come check your boy out. But yeah, it has been a very interesting month. It has been a very interesting year so far, man. We finally hit our next milestone yesterday. Well, it's actually 2 days ago, but it was actually confirmed yesterday. We hit the 1.4K. Thank you so much. If you're new, please, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. This is everything you need to know, man. So you do not be confused for the next week's episodes that are planning on coming out. Probably, hopefully tomorrow or Thursday, we will be be coming out with our next episode. But yeah, first off, let's go to the calendar. Ignore that your boy does not play in the I personally do not use universe mode at all. I go through play mode, but I use the universe mode calendar. So this is where we're at. We're in February in game time. We're on the road to WrestleMania. In 2 weeks' time, it is going to be the Elimination Chamber. I'm going to confirm the Elimination Chamber release date. The Elimination Chamber is coming out on I'm going to push for May 10th. May 10th, 2020 will be the Elimination Chamber. We have 2 weeks left of content left. You're going to get week 3 this week, and you're going to get week 4 next week. You're going to get week 4 next week. Right now, the planned date for the Elimination Chamber is May 10th, 2020, the day of Mother's Day. I'm going to release the Elimination Chamber for you all. Production will begin in the next week. And the show is very short, so pre-show will be 30 minutes before the main show premieres live. So production will be very short, and it's not that long. It is our break towards WrestleMania, and it shouldn't take me very long to get it done. So my plan is May 10th for the Elimination Chamber. If my people that help me put the editing these shows together are not available, we will come up with another date at that time. But the chamber will be May 10th. The way how we work is some episodes are long, some episodes are short. It just depends on how the build has gone. So far, you guys have been digging Monday Night Raw. Raw has won the ratings the last 2 weeks. NXT is very close to beating Smackdown in the ratings. How I judge ratings is views and likes and interactions. For my series, for Coletrain Productions, we judge ratings on the views, the interactions, how you guys respond to the shows, and all that fun little digital things. That's how we judge our ratings. But there's been a weird glitch with YouTube that 1.4K has sort of showed up on other people's stuff, but it's not showing up on my stuff. I don't understand it. YouTube has acted strange, but we have 1.4K. So you guys see that glitch, don't worry about it. But how I judge YouTube, I'm sorry, I don't judge YouTube. How I judge views is I look at the I look at the views, and I look at the interaction, look at the likes, the comments, etc. And that's how I judge my views. Like for example, let's go back to week 2. Monday Night Raw did 117 views, SmackDown did 169, and NXT did 100 views flat. You guys said that, Monday Night Raw was the better show. You know, but technically it was not. With views wise, SmackDown won the ratings. Last week, Monday Night Raw won the ratings because they had the most views. The episodes typically come out at the same time, but on different days whenever they're done. For example, last week Raw got 200 views, SmackDown got 226, and NXT got 105. So basically, Raw has been the better show in you guys' opinion the last 2 weeks, but in the ratings, they have not been. Even though Raw has more likes than NXT and SmackDown, it has more in-game live viewers watching the broadcast than NXT and SmackDown. But yeah, that's how I judge views and that's how I do my ratings. Those ratings transpire to see who main events the co-branded shows every month. Right now it seems that SmackDown's on a roll, but they will not main event Elimination Chamber, unfortunately, because Raw has an Elimination Chamber match, and I want to close with an Elimination Chamber match. So, SmackDown's been winning the ratings, but it does count in the end as we get closer to WrestleMania Las Vegas. Speaking of WrestleMania in this series will be a 8-week build. March and April, do not disregard Fastlane. It is not happening, not right now. It will happen in the summer, but Fastlane is not happening as of right now. WrestleMania will be an 8-week build. It will be 8 weeks of non-stop television until we get to the final week in April. You will see one last NXT, and after that you will see Monday night. After that, you will see WrestleMania Las Vegas. How we're going to do it is going to be a 2-night extravaganza. Friday, on a Friday night, you're going to get NXT TakeOver Las Vegas. I know it might go compete against SmackDown, but because it might run into SmackDown. If I need to push it up, I will let you guys know. But it might run into SmackDown. Probably gonna start at 5 o'clock. It might end right in SmackDown. We'll go an hour into SmackDown, depending on how long the takeover is. Well, you're getting NXT TakeOver Las Vegas on Friday. It's happening Friday. That Friday. That Saturday, you're going to get WrestleMania Night 1, Las Vegas Night 1. And that Sunday, you're going to get WrestleMania Las Vegas Night 2. It will be a 2-night WrestleMania. I feel that this is the best way to do this. I feel that this is the most efficient way to do this because I don't want you guys sitting through 10 hours of WrestleMania. I do not. I would much rather you sit through 4 and 4 or 5 and 4, depending on how the shows come out. I think a 4.5-hour WrestleMania is better to digest than sitting through a 6, 7, 8, 9-hour WrestleMania, which is not happening. So splitting the times up, splitting these shows up, I think will be beneficial more than doing it as a full show. And did I get this idea from WWE? No. Somebody asked me, "Oh, you getting this idea from WWE?" That's not true. Last year I did 2 nights for WrestleMania. You could go back and look at the footage. I will actually link that if you want to make sure I'm making false claims, there is a playlist called 2K19 Universe Mode. You can go back and look at the 2-night WrestleMania I did last year. It was in 2 venues. One was in LSU Stadium in Death Valley Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The other one was in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. You can go back and look at the footage. It is right there for you, man. So if you think I'm lying, I did 2 nights last year before WWE even did it. This year, and I did it, and it was successful. We had a great time, and I reached 500 subscribers after that show. So, yeah, if you feel like I'm lying, if you feel like, oh, I'm not telling the truth, There's evidence all over the place that I am telling the truth. Just go and find it for yourself, man. Just look in the 2K19 playlist that I will link for you, man. I will link it for you. If you feel that I'm lying to you, because I just want to clear it up, because we have new subscribers, and you're gonna be like, did you just steal this idea from WWE? No, I did not. I have done this myself in the past. I am very different. I run things differently than others do. But there will be a change to the schedule. I want to do Smackdown on Fridays, and in game. So the schedule will change as we will draft new rosters. With our annual WWE draft that will happen after WrestleMania. That is the plan, and the schedule will change. Smackdown will move to Friday and move to Fox in game after WrestleMania Las Vegas, and then it's gonna be Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown. That's gonna be the new schedule. I feel like that's more efficient because SmackDown does not take me long to produce. NXT takes the longest to produce. Out of the 3 shows, Raw takes me a mere of a day or two to work on. SmackDown takes me about maybe 2 days to work on, and NXT takes about 3 days to work on. That's why it takes a bulk of more of my time to work on NXT shows than it is Raw and SmackDown. You see 47 minutes, but that's 47 minutes scripted. 47 minutes I got to do a lot of it, and with the extra camera angles that go into NXT, it takes me very longer, and I got to play around with Share Factory more with NXT more than any other stuff. And then getting now exclusively for now in-game renders for thumbnails for NXT. Every week from now on, NXT will have in-game renders for thumbnails. That takes a lot to do. With a lot of time that goes into making those thumbnails. Meanwhile, Raw and SmackDown just has the regular graphic thumbnails. So it doesn't take that long to make those. It takes my graphic designers less than maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes to make the match cards and thumbnail from Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, that's going to be the new schedule that starts after WrestleMania. So if you guys are confused why is SmackDown coming out after Raw, we're still following the 2K20 schedule, but we will change this after WrestleMania, and then starting in May, in game time, we're going to have Raw on Mondays, NXT on Wednesdays, SmackDown is going to be on Fridays. So SmackDown will be the last show to come out for the week. So make sure you guys stay tuned, look at that change. Another difference that we have from everybody else, I run brand exclusive pay-per-views, and when I mean brand exclusive pay-per-views, I mean it. These shows do not come together at often. They only come together for the big 4. There is no, starting this year, there's going to be no Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I am straying away from gimmick pay-per-view starting after WrestleMania Las Vegas. The final gimmick pay-per-view that you will see, and maybe the only one I will have for the entire year, is Elimination Chamber. Personally, I'm a fan of the Elimination Chamber. I might change the name of it, maybe I might do No Way Out next year, but the Chamber is going to be the only gimmick pay-per-view we have. The pay-per-view schedule, it changes every single year. Like, I'm going to give you guys an example of how the pay-per-view schedule changes from year to year. As, for example, some Raw and SmackDown exclusive pay-per-views changes every year. They flip-flop. But you typically get the same pay-per-view, but with a different brand and different spin on it. I do that to keep it fresh and to not keep it lame. I'm expecting the same thing every single year. No, I do that because the rosters typically change after WrestleMania too. It has changed the last few years after WrestleMania, and it's a good thing to do. So, but in spite of that, there will still be an NXT takeover around when Money in the Bank was supposed to happen. So the Money in the Bank, or the original Money in the Bank weekend, will still have takeover. Takeover always happens 2 months after WrestleMania. It happens every year. So takeover will happen week 8, so it will be another 8-week NXT takeover. It will be an 8-week and build to NXT takeover Chicago 2 that will take place in June, and then takeover will come together for SummerSlam that will take us in as well. Takeover kind of good for SummerSlam. So takeover is not affected, and I have run takeovers by themselves without a pay-per-view the day before it, and it has been successful, and I have had not too many issues with doing that. So I'm going to continue doing what I gotta do and to continue to do that what made me successful, and do continue to run takeovers like that so we don't have any issues. Like, I'm going to give you guys an example. Monday Night Raw in 2K19 had Backlash. This year, Backlash will be a Smackdown exclusive pay-per-view, and Backlash will emanate from Orlando, Florida, and for the Smackdown Live exclusive pay-per-view this year. And Raw will take vengeance. Last year, Raw had Judgment Day. SmackDown will take Judgment Day this year, while Raw gets Bad Blood. I do this to keep everything fresh, to keep everything not being feel the same. I do this to keep everything feeling different. Because as I say, ladies and gentlemen, in universe mode, difference is key. Running shows that other universe modes don't run, and getting rid of Money in the Bank and putting it personally during SummerSlam, I feel is the best thing to do, in my honest opinion. So that is what I am doing. I guess I can give you guys the pay-per-view schedule, how everything's going to work for the next few months. So after WrestleMania, there will be a WWE draft. After WWE draft in May, you will see Vengeance for Monday Night Raw. SmackDown will host Backlash. June, originally scheduled for Money in the Bank, will now be brand exclusive pay-per-views. You will see Bad Blood for Raw, and Backlash will hold, and Judgment Day will be for SmackDown. Also June will be NXT TakeOver Chicago #2. How we're going to run that is Raw and SmackDown typically flip-flop. You will see the Raw the night before the SmackDown, probably the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. You will see the night before Judgment Day, you will see NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, and then Judgment Day will be the next night. That's basically how we're going to do it. Takeovers are always Saturdays in game time. They will never be on Sunday. They will always be on Saturdays. Typically always a night before a show. Or if there is no show, they don't have to worry about that. We'll treat it as a Sunday. But that's how everything's going to be. But in the real life calendar and in the real world, you may still see a takeover on the Sunday, and then the following week you get Backlash on the Sunday, or Judgment Day, or Judgment Day for this example on the Sunday. But sometimes I run them back to back. You get a takeover the night before. I have done that. I did that with Survivor Series. You got takeover Miami the night before, very successful show, and then you got Survivor Series the next day. I have done that before too. But like I did with TakeOver Philadelphia, I split those the Philadelphia and Rumble 2 weeks apart, and both shows did fantastic in views and reception and reviews. So it just depends on how the schedule's going, how my schedule's going, is how you're going to get these videos. This universe mode is the most consistent thing on this channel. You get this every single week. There may not be 3 shows a week, but sometimes I try to get to you 3 shows per week for this universe mode. As for the other universe mode that I will talk about in my next video, which you will be getting after this video goes up, that universe mode is not consistent and does not have 3 brands. I will explain why when we get to that universe mode. This universe mode is the most consistent universe mode. It has the most people behind it on this channel, and the most people around it. And then July is going to be tournament-based shows. We will host the Mae Young Classic, the second annual Mae Young Classic, because we hosted one last year, and we will host the King of the Ring. And then August, you will see NXT TakeOver once again, which I have confirmed. It will be TakeOver Atlanta, and then you will see SummerSlam in August. And that is the pay-per-view schedule, and that's how everything is going to run for this series. If there's any questions, comments, or concerns, I will answer them to the best of my ability. This series does use calls as well. We have our own call division. We have our own men's championship, and we are introducing a female call championship in the very near future. So, which is coming up at WrestleMania. There will be a female call show. Another thing, my pre-shows matter. You do not want to miss a pre-show. Pre-shows develop story development, which I think is very important for Universe Mode. And they pretty much matter the most out of any show, as I do. I say don't miss any shows that I do, because you will miss story beats. So I advise you guys, even though it's very consistent, I know it's hard to keep up, but I advise you guys to watch the shows when you have time. Typically, the weekly format has not been working, as things have shifted and my schedule has permitted me not to do weekly shows because of how I used to run during the school year. Is you get shows. Sorry guys, the weather is terrible while I'm recording this. Trying to get this video to y'all, but the weather is horrible right now. But you get these shows. It used to run three days a week, and that's pretty much how much I used to post. On weekends I used to stream when I was in school, but since everything has shifted online, it has ruined my schedule, and I can't balance schoolwork with doing, because usually I typically do all my schoolwork ahead of time, and I do it in class, or I find ways to do it. I do it in the cafeteria at one point, so I can have more time to work on videos, and I did it, and then I take individual time to study for tests in school. That's how I used to value my time. But since I have more time on my hands, and online takes longer to get work done online than it did in person, and it's not not as consistent. It takes me a while to get to Universe Mode. Like I'm just getting to this video now. This video was supposed to be recorded about 3 hours ago and uploaded. But I'm just getting to it now, and now the weather is terrible. Of course. The weather never ceases to help you, boy. But yeah. That is everything with Universe Mode. Any questions, comments, concerns? If you want to join Coletrain Productions, please let me know down below, and for joining Coletrain Productions. If you want your call in our Universe Mode, let me know down below as well. The championships we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 championships per brand. World Heavyweight, United States, Raw Tag Team, Raw Women's, and European Championships. I personally love this. Since my roster is so big, I love having 2 mid-card titles. And then for the SmackDown, you have WWE, IC, SmackDown Tag Team, SmackDown Tag Team, SmackDown Women's, UK, and Cruiserweights. Cruiserweights are exclusive to SmackDown, but some have deals where they can show up on Raw and even NXT. And then NXT has those titles, but we obviously have NXT Global title, which is customly made, NXT Championship, NXT Tag Team Championship, and the NXT Women's Championship. But that's it. Hope you guys enjoy. I will get that other video out when this weather calms down. Like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys in my next video. Talk to you guys later.